Hello, collective. This is for the first message. And if you have seen the intro and how I do the things I do and where it all started, thank you for watching that first. So, yeah, let's dive in. I was also tuning into 1996 is symbolic as in your date of birth or some. I feel like it's date of birth because usually, I have to be really honest. I know I'm not only reading for millennials. Like there's everybody that is watching my channel, apparently, of all walks of life, all ages of lives, based on the algorithm at least. So I can't just say that it's just for people born during 1996. Something could have taken place during that time as well with the specific other person on your mind, okay? But that is symbolic. I also got Winslow, so that could be somebody's last name, but personally for me, because I live in a European country, Winslow is not like a common last name or a staple name at all. My first thought went to Family Matters, okay? Luckily, a lot of shows in America that was broadcasted in Europe. I'm very grateful. One of the things that help with the English, I have to say. And Winslow, I usually watch Family Matters. I love that show. I haven't seen it in ages, so with that being said, your person can work in, let me see if I remember right. So the father's name was Winslow. I know for that was like the family name, Winslow. And yeah, he was a police officer, and then he had a daughter, and actually no, he had 2 daughters and 2 sons. So that could be like your family dynamic. I know for the fact the oldest daughter, her name was Laura. Okay, so somebody saying it could be Laura. And I think the youngest child was named Richie. Okay, so somebody saying could be Richie. And then we also got, I don't remember the other one, like the big brother, the aunt, I don't remember her name. I don't remember the mother's name, but I do believe the mother of the family, Mrs. Winslow, was a teacher. Okay, so again, your side, your person's side, or you can resonate that in your own life. And last but not least, what I think everybody remembers is that there was a neighbor called Steve Urkel, okay, and sometimes Stefan. So you could be dealing with a masculine, okay, in the sense of a male here that was a bit of a nerd back in the days, okay, when you guys met, but now they have, puberty hit and they have evolved, or you can switch sides like a Gemini. You could be dealing with a Gemini, and they're both handsome and smart, but they tend to be quite geeky when it comes to you because you made them fold. If you're feminine energy, you really have you wear the pants in the relationship, okay? This person always had a crush on you, always liked you, and I feel like symbolism in terms of like Steve Urkel being Steve and then going into Stefan, that in this case the person became Stefan, aka the true divine masculine for you when you guys met, when they started on this journey. Everybody else could have seen them as a geek and so on in that case, but then when they met their divine feminine, they became Stefan and so hot and so eligible and desirable, and it kind of makes sense. Like if we're gonna be really honest, whenever we transition from aka ascend, becoming the persons that we're supposed to be on planet Earth, going through all the awakenings and becoming who we're supposed to be, in this case the right divine counterpart for our counterpart, there are a lot of people that are naysayers, a lot of attacks, and everything and everybody seems to be going after our tailcoat. So something of this nature is very symbolic. But at the end of the day, what I feel here is that your divine counterpart only has eyes for you. And that's it. Okay? This is going to sound really non-spiritual right now, but I don't know why that was the norm, but back in the days, it was... Let me just say this as an example, but one of my old friends from Lebanon, she said that when she went to America, she married like somebody that's very wealthy, and her husband's associates, the females there in America, to be specific, they were always on the hunt for like a side piece or a side man, and like basically they were comfortable and open with open relationship. That was like the norm. Like the rich was kind of, that's what she told me. And she was just so appalled because, number one, she is from a culture that and she's also religious at that. So it's the fact that, you know, everybody was kind of like open, even those the people that share the same religion as her kind of was into that lifestyle, really shocked her. And you know, I am not from that. Hopefully, I'm not from the lifestyle of rich and famous. So when she told me about this, I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. But hey, there's some people that are like that. So if you ever seen in my readings where I mention things that seems quite unorthodox, mostly is from like the things I've heard from my own surroundings and their experience, because I know for a fact an open relationship is not the norm, and a different type of class, like the middle class or the lower class in some places, but the upper class could be very open with open marriages and relationship. Some parts of the planet is open to that, and some parts are not, you know. So yeah, I just thought I wanted to share that. What I wanted to mention is that a lot of people, when they see divine counterpart, it's a frequency thing, and the energy and frequency on Earth is not really mimicking what's on which is 3D, and it doesn't really mimic what's on the 5D, the energy between you and your counterpart. So of course it's going to be struggles and tribulations, and it usually is for spiritually inclined people that have a spiritual mission on Earth, whether it's ascended, you're uniting with your twin flame, raising the vibration on the planet. The opposition is oppositioning, and it's not an easy thing to embark on in life. You know, you really, but hey, we chose this. So I say all this to say, this is gonna be one of those long readings. Yeah. Your message from your person. So much from that little Winslow thing. But anyways, your message from your person is that you make them feel ethereal, okay? And I always love the word ethereal, personally. But you make them feel like this. And if you haven't read the memo, read the room, this first message is a twin flame message, okay? I'm not just speaking to speak. I actually wrote it down in my notes, in my little note thingy. I don't know if you guys can see that fast, but I did. And they're terrified, but they love it. Anytime you encounter a twin flame, if you don't know what the word twin flame is, you shit your pants. It's a terrifying thing to realize. It's a terrifying thing to experience. And it might sound silly to a lot of people, but it falls beyond just love, okay? It's an experience where it's like a lot of people would just look at you cray, okay? Outside of it, and then you experience it with your person. It's a lot of intense emotions, a lot of intensity, I have to say. But you guys have already connected in the 4D, 5D, as well as in 3D. And the reason I say 3D, like what happens in the physical on the earth here, the 2020 and 2022 is very symbolic here. You could have met during that time. You could have got that inkling of, I want something more than what's just the norm, okay? And thus the journey begins, okay? Let's see the changes of 2024, okay? I'm gonna do a past, present, future situation here, the normal stuff in terms of the initials and any blockages in the present, as well as a timeline, okay? So we shall begin. Yeah, welcome to my energy readings. I usually don't talk like much like this. I just kind of go into it. I literally had to write like a whole freaking intro to just keep it short because I hate long readings. Doing them and watching them, but today is a different day. Okay, so back in the days, I don't know if you guys can, let me just do this. So we got the 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so back in the days, things didn't work. Okay, they had a lot of work to do and it didn't work. They wanted to work it out, but it just didn't work back in the days. 2022, 20. See, I wrote down 2020 as well as 2022 because I wasn't sure if it was either or when I found these messages. But I guess for you guys, 2022 is the date I should go on. So here we go. Yeah. 8 of Pentacles in reverse, and then we got the Emperor. I noticed in the past I put the cards really like up close, so I'm just trying to make this as aesthetically pleasing as possible. And then last but not least, we got the Knight of Wands. This person, yeah, like I was saying here, they wanted to make it work and it just didn't work. They could have also made a decision in saying that I cannot make this work because it's too much work. I have a business. I have to focus on the financial stuff. I have to take care of people. Dealing with the connection is overwhelming, is interfering, and it's a distraction from me being an emperor, me doing what I need to do to survive on this earth. Like, I don't have time for this connection. Thus, even though they know who you are, you came across and met, I'm getting here that something was said, something was felt. Going back to, they feel terrified, but they love it. I feel the terrifying emotions that they felt back in the days was more so they were afraid that they will fail this because of the intensity and them not knowing what it really was. And when they found out what it really was, it didn't match up to what they know. A lot of people, I don't want to generalize this to just masculine or feminine, but a lot of people in terms of masculines, if they're not spiritual and they hear something of this nature, it's going to spook them. And it's going to feel like, because you have to understand, a masculine energy, everybody, but a masculine energy in itself, a male to be specific, they have a sort of picture that they have to uphold. If they're an emperor, for them to embark on a twin flame journey, spiritual, even religious, but this feels very cosmic, very ethereal, like I said, very spiritual. It takes away from the image of them, you know, and to break that picture, it really is a process, okay? Back in the days, it was terrifying. Now, they made a decision to focus on work, okay? And this hurt them, okay? This is something that they, along the line, they got wounded by. I don't feel them hurting you, but like their action could have hurt you and so on. But I feel like in this case, from you to them, it's more so like they took a decision on focusing more on being an emperor and their stability than the connection in itself. But specifically like the twin flame aspect, they could have also felt the energy of like, do I have to give up my emperor status because of this connection? It's a lot of things to like ponder about, okay? A lot of emotions here. And they were upset, and you are upset as well, and you were upset with them, but it's kind of like, because you know what it is, it's not like they don't know who you are based on energy-wise, spirit. Like the reason why you met during that time, because it was the time. It was almost like they had to give up the connection in order to make sure. Because if somebody were to say that, yeah, you're my twin flame, we're in a twin flame journey, and if you base it too much on the spiritual part, they're going to feel like they have to give up their entire life for this connection. For you, yes. The love, yes. But it's kind of like, for example, do I have to become a monk now? Like, what about my job? What about my status? I'm a freaking emperor. It doesn't make sense there. I'm getting that type of energy. I almost felt like they were stripped away from their happiness. They had to choose. But every time they repelled you in a way, because I feel like you guys have went in deep, whether spiritually or physically, about who you guys are, the connection and the journey. Every time they push you away, because I'm also getting a runner chaser dynamic here, they stripped away their happiness, but they thought that the journey in itself stripped away from their purpose in life, but the purpose is really the connection with you. Now, on a logical note, let me just leave my own thoughts. Let me leave my own thoughts about this, and yeah. So we're just gonna go on from their energy, and I will leave my own thoughts, okay, aside. Yes, I could break this down, but this is not what Spirit wants me to do, so we shall continue. So what's happening right now, the changes right now from them to you. So in 2024, this person, they want to tell you that they're not happy that what they did occurred. I feel like it was kind of like me looking in. I'm tuning into this as it was meant to happen. It was for your highest and best good. You guys had to have that rift. They had to have that rude awakening, and it had to treat you this way in order to make sure what they really needed. The spirit knew, but the physical part just couldn't accept the totality of it all. Because let me be for real, anyone that's a deep connection with somebody, things get beyond what's the expectation. Of course, it's a terrifying thing, you know? They want to let you know that they're not hurt anymore by this. Because in a way, they also felt like you hurt them because of the fact that you put them in some sort of dilemma. Okay, I will say that. They're not hurt anymore, and they want to start manifesting you back. They want to start something new. That is a rocks. That is symbolic for manifestation. Okay, and they don't want to base this on hurt. And then we got Seven of Cups. They want to base this on however you see fit. Even if it's a little bit cray-cray, a little bit delusional. Seven of Cups for me is kind of like being all over the place, but also like on the card is based on illusions and confusion and magic. But for you guys, it's more so like if your connection needs to be, you know, over emotional and a little bit unhinged to the public eye, then so be it. I feel like they got a little bit of a tower moment, saying that like, fuck it, I cannot be hurt anymore, I want something new. And even if it feels like an illusion and this is not the norm, they're ready to do whatever it takes. They know that your guys are twin flames. It's just the whole facing the reality of it all, okay? And the physical, they're not sure if you want this love because of the rejection that took place at one point. And it's not so the rejection of like they don't have emotions. It's kind of like they don't want to be on this journey, you know? So I feel like your connection was short-lived in 2022. So now we're going to see how they see you. And going back to the wrestler, I did say that the father is like a police officer. So like, if they, again, if they work in a space of like the government, for you to say that your person supposed to be on a spiritual journey when they are like working in a corporate job, that is something that is kind of like, what? You know? The logic does not make sense. Like, especially if you come from a family of like, you know, upper class, 9 to 5, that specific, very normal, or the norm in terms of society, for them to kind of step out of that is terrifying, you know? Whether they're other police officer or they were surrounded by family members that's in this journey. But I'm gonna tell you that spiritual people are everywhere. We're just cloaking ourselves with what society is telling us to cloak ourselves with, okay? So what they like about you guys, in terms of your personality, like right now, I'm gonna do like a now, because this reading is so long. So we got control. So they love the fact that you're somebody that knows how to handle yourself in business. Like, you're not somebody that will ever lash out or be thwarted. I'm getting the energy of like Laura in Family Matters. As much of authority that your person has, this masculine, you're somebody, even spiritually, you also have authority. You can wear the pants, and they love this about you. Like, yeah, okay. And we got codependency, but it was termed like this. You're also somebody that needs this person, and they love this as well, but it's not an overwhelming needing of like, you need to, they feel like they need to support you through and through. You can handle yourself, but I'm also getting the energy of like you allow them to be masculine, and they'll love this. Codependency can be good in a way where it's like, if it's a give and take, you know, needing somebody is essential for the human race. But if it's so much so where you don't have other like outlets, friends, family members, or yourself, it can actually be overwhelming to that specific one person. So they love this like I need you type of energy, and you're not afraid to make it known, but you're also somebody that can hold your own. You could be a little bit possessive, but they like this. I'm also getting into it, okay? But yeah, I know that was long. And now we're gonna go into the initials. I am tuning into somebody's name is Sarah, okay? Let's see here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm gonna give you a little bit more time. Heavy on somebody's name is E, or E, it starts with an E. That was funny. So I wanted to do timeline as well, but we might go into the extended. If you have access to my like trial. All you have to do is like, I have like a 1-day open trial on my website where all the extenders are available. And I do like blockages, timeline, and like a future outcome. I will say this though, I am tuning in